When it comes to selling, most coaches fall into one of two camps. First are the scared sellers. They kind of tiptoe around making offers. They're worried that they're going to sound pushy. So instead, they just post a ton of valuable content. They drop subtle, soft hints about their coaching program. And they just kind of hope that their leads are going to magically get it. And they're just going to throw their money at them. Spoiler alert, they won't. And these coaches stay stuck in the audience friend zone, broke, burnt out, and wondering why nobody's giving them any money. Second are the sales savages. They sell their soul to get another sale anytime for any reason. They're pushy, they're manipulative, and they justify their aggressive persuasion as just doing what they need to do to help somebody else out. So if you can identify with any of those, you're not alone. And truthfully, I've been both of those before at different stages in my business as well. And neither of them worked out very well. Being a scared seller left me broke. And being the sales savage, well, it did kind of make me a lot of money, but it brought in a lot of horrible clients that didn't want to be there. They weren't ready to make a change. They didn't stay long. They never referred anybody. They asked for refunds, and they just made business a lot more fucking stressful. So over the years, through my business journey and honestly through a lot of personal growth too, I found a much better, more peaceful way of selling that doesn't make me feel sleazy and definitely doesn't leave you broke either. So I've used this strategy for a few years now, and it's allowed me to make over 20K per month since October of 22 consistently. And I've taught this strategy to dozens of other coaches, which has allowed them to make more money and build sustainable businesses that doesn't stress them out every day of their lives. So in this video here, I'm going to walk you through my 4-step peaceful profit strategy and show you how you can sign more clients without sales calls, without objection handling, without desperate chasing, or pretending to be somebody that you're not. So if you want to sell more coaching, but you refuse to sell your soul in the process, let's just dive into this. Step number 1, don't sell in public. So your public facing content on social media, it should not contain your pitch. It should be about positioning you. So when you sell in public, all that really does is when your content, when your stories are constantly screaming buy now, it does two big things that hurt your business a lot in the long run. So number 1, it makes you look desperate and needy for your prospects, which kind of just turns people off. Nobody wants to work with that desperate, needy coach that is always asking for clients, right? You want to position yourself as somebody who is full, that's somebody who has a full client roster, who doesn't need you, right? That kind of positioning puts you as the authority or the expert rather than the person that just needs clients to make money, right? Number 2 is that it just completely kills your reach in the algorithms, because when you do sales content on social media, nobody's going to engage with it, which means that it's very likely that the algorithm just kind of crushes it and nobody in your audience is actually going to see it, which means that even if there are some people in your audience that are ready to buy, they're probably never going to see your sales post anyways. So instead, use your public content to nurture leads and to position you as the authority in your niche. Use your content to make people want to buy from you rather than telling them that they should buy from you. And use your content to push people towards your DMs and to your email list where you can then sell in private rather than in public. Because selling in private, it doesn't feel as forced upon people. It doesn't feel as pushy on people, because when you sell in private, those people are there because they chose to be there. They chose to engage with you. They sent you a message. They engaged with you in the DMs, or they subscribed to your email list. So when they take those actions towards you, they're essentially giving you permission to make an offer to them. Simple as that. Step number 2, don't do sales calls. Now, I'm sure you know as well as I do that your prospects sure as shit don't want to do sales calls either. And everybody knows that your discovery call or your strategy session is just a sales call in disguise. So stop trying to trick people with those fancy terms too. They don't want to schedule a sales call or a Zoom call with you. Nobody wants to get on Zoom just to be bullied into buying face-to-face. People do want to buy, but they want to buy on their own terms, on their own time, and in their own way without pressure. So when you're trying to force everybody to get on a sales call with you or jump on Zoom with you, you're losing out on a lot of would-be clients, people who would love to work with you. They just don't want to buy from you in a high-pressure situation. So that is why DM sales and even email sales, directly converting in the emails, usually typically for most coaches is going to convert better than sales calls, especially in today's market and in today's level of buyer sophistication. And this isn't just theory either. I stopped doing sales calls myself in December of 2022 was the last time I ever did a sales call. And since then, I've been closing 20 to 30K per month consistently, all either through the DMs or directly through email, even without a conversation. And the majority of my mentorship clients that I work with now, they typically see an increase in their conversion rates after switching to a DM sales system and eliminating their sales calls without any other changes, just from making that small change from selling selling on Zoom to selling in the DMs. And the real beauty of DM sales is that it gives both you and your prospect freedom. Selling by chat in the DMs and email, it gives you control over your time and your energy while actually increasing conversions. So it is a win-win in all ways. Step number 3, don't handle objections. So this is where I'm going to lose a lot of the sales bros, because most of them will tell you every objection is like one step closer to a yes or some bullshit like that. I've heard it all. Hell, I used to say a lot of it myself, if we're being honest here. I used to be that sales savage. I used to stay on sales calls until somebody would either buy from me or they would hang up on me. That was literally the only options. I didn't give them any other option. They were either going to stay on the phone and work through these objections with me, or they can just hang up and leave. So they would either buy or ghost me forever. I had a 25-page document of all my objection handling scripts that I had memorized. I had a quick answer, a rebuttal, a logic trap, a reframe for anything the prospect could possibly say to me. Any objection that they could pull out of their ass, I had a response for it. And I got a lot of closes. Over the 4 years that I was doing sales calls, my average close rate was 78%. But, while that sounds good, most of my buyers only bought after a lot of objection handling, which meant a lot of refunds, a lot of chargebacks, people quitting early, no renewals, no referrals, bad clients, and a lot of stress. So it doesn't really make for a very fun business to run. So back in 2022, when I decided to stop doing sales calls, I also decided I was going to stop doing objection handling as well. And when I did that, when I switched from sales calls and high pressure objection handling sales to DM sales, my conversion rates actually dropped by about 20%, but I made a lot more money in the long run. And when I say my conversion rates dropped by 20%, it's because I was really fucking good at sales, right? That's not going to happen for most people. I spent 4 years obsessing over sales calls. I paid tens of thousands of dollars to sales trainers to teach me how to sell. I obsessed over it. I read every single sales book. I became almost close to what I would consider to be like the master level of sales. I got really good at it, but I did not like doing it, which is why I made the switch. I didn't feel like I was being myself on sales calls. I felt like I was playing a role or pretending to be somebody that I was not. I was putting myself in a different box and being somebody for that sales call, when in real life that wasn't me. I'm an introvert in real life. I'm not an extrovert. I'm not pushy or engaging with people in real life, but I was putting on that show on sales calls, and I got really good at playing that part, which is why I closed so well on sales calls. But making that shift to selling in the DMs, it felt more like me. Right? I could be myself. I could be more lean back kind of thing. I didn't want to put pressure on people. I didn't want to force them to make a decision. And making that shift from letting go of who I was pretending to be, it led to a drop in conversion rates because I was so good at sales calls. But for most people, they're not going to see that drop in conversion rates because most people have not gone through that level of depth on sales calls training. They haven't gone through the hours and hours and hours of role play practice that it takes to get to that level. So most people are not closing 78%. Most people are closing 20, 30, 40% tops. So most people are going to see an increase in their conversions when they stop doing sales calls and they go to selling in the DMs instead. But because of where I was at, I saw a drop. Now, I say that, but that drop in conversions didn't actually hurt my business. My front end conversions dropped by about 20%, but I ended up making more money because when I stopped doing objection handling, it meant that people only joined my coaching program when they were actually ready to be there, when they were actually ready to sign up, when they were actually ready to make that payment. So what that meant on the back end is that I had much better quality clients. So they got better results, which meant better testimonials. They stayed longer. They renewed more. They sent more referrals. So the back end of my business was actually a lot more profitable, even though the front end of the business had a small drop in conversion rates. So what that means is that stress levels went down, but profits went up. So it just makes a lot more peaceful of running a business that way, right? And I'm sure a lot of people would like that for themselves as well, which is why I'm sharing this with you here today. So that's number 3. Step number 4 is don't use fake urgency or scarcity. So if you've ever used any sort of urgency or scarcity, like I've only got 3 spots left or doors closed Friday at midnight kind of thing, that is perfectly fine as long as it's honest and ethical. If you can seriously only handle 3 more clients to work with this month, awesome. Make it known. And if you are actually closing the doors on a set date for whatever reason, as long as it's truthful, cool, make that clear in your offer. But if you're just starting out and you would love to have 30, 40 more clients, but you're telling everybody that you have only 2 spots left, that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. Or if you tell people that the door's closed tonight, but then somebody DMs you tomorrow asking you to join and you let them in, that's some bullshit too, right? Now, you might get away with this for a little while, but you're going to know deep down that you're lying and you're taking advantage of people, which is going to cause you a lot of anxiety and destroy your peaceful profits. On top of that, your client, the people on the front end, your leads, your prospects, they might never ever know that you're lying, right? But on the back end is where it really matters, because your clients inside your coaching program, they're going to notice, because they're going to still be watching your content. They're still going to be reading your emails, watching your stories. They're going to know that you're lying publicly and that you're still bringing people in on the back end after your supposed deadlines or over your limits, right? So what they see on the back end kills their trust with you. So they're never going to stick around with you long term, right? So what you should do instead is stop trying to rely on fake urgency and scarcity as a crutch for yourself. Instead, improve your offer, make your offer so valuable that you don't need those fake threats or those false promises just to sell people into your coaching program. Now, if there is that real urgency, if there is that real scarcity, use it. Just don't make it up, because I promise you that in the long run, you will understand that your reputation is worth more than a quick sale. So that wraps up the 4 steps. Now, quick little recap here of the peaceful profit strategy. Number 1, don't sell in public. Number 2, don't do sales calls. Number 3, don't handle objections. Lastly, number 4 is don't use fake urgency or scarcity. Selling doesn't have to be stressful or manipulative or soul-sucking. It can be peaceful, it can be aligned, and it can still be very profitable. You don't have to trade one to get the other. And if you would like a deep dive into the rest of the strategies that make it possible to run this peaceful profits business and sell in this way, check out this masterclass here where I'll give you a deep dive into my entire Category Kings operating system.